profile went to a different.
That's fine.
Thank you. And I was just boarding the plane, and I was like, oh,
Oh, you
trying to
poor
figure it.
thing.
Yeah,
Have you had a good day?
yeah, brilliant.
Oh,
So
that's
so
good.
good. Thank you so much for arranging everything.
No,
And
it's
like, it's
fine.
just been fantastic. It's my first
Okay.
conference, so definitely will be coming.
Oh, good, good. And
Just
I'm
wanted to
glad you
say
had a
hi
good
and like
day.
put a so you can put a face to a name.
Yes, that's always nice to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm glad you had a good day.
100%.
Okay, so I think this is good to go as long as I don't think anybody will bump it here. Oh, it's gone live already. Why is it live? I didn't intend to. Well, we may as well just test the sound since it's live anyway. Do you want to go out and talk into the mic?
No, that's fine. That's something you can do.
Hello, testing sound. Hello. Hello, testing. Hello.
Okay, that's because it's live now. I didn't need to click live. If I stop the live now, it's going to break the link to the platform. So I
Oh,
can't
no, don't.
just have to leave it running for 15 minutes. Okay, you guys start
Go
and
outside. Hello, testing. Hello, testing live. Testing. Yep. Temperamental, of course.
Temperamental close. Temperamental close.
I didn't need to click live. If I stop the live now, it's going to break the link to the platform. Okay, you guys saw it. You haven't told when you go outside. Now you're gonna go outside.
Hello, testing. Hello, testing live. Testing.
No idea. No idea.
Does she know?
No.
Who's speaking?
Okay, so we're just getting ready now to go live with the award, but I'll take you on a little walk through so you can see everybody. In the meantime, while we wait, we're going to be going live at 3:30. The awards. There's our lovely photographer. Everybody's just having some nice cake now. Nice coffee and cake. There's a lovely buzz in here. And we will be going live at 3:30 with our awards. There's the lovely Scottish director, Sarah Eddy. Say hi to the live audience. Trying to entertain them until 3:30. We're going live with the awards at 3:30. here because of the spots.
Well, because you've got, when you stand here, there's quite a good amount of light on you. Yeah, perfect. But when you go into the shadows, you end up with like panda eyes.
What in this that do you hear?
No, you know, like, so here you're perfectly lit.
Oh, excellent. That's
But out here, it's not as lit.
I've got it working, but I don't want to turn it off.
Yeah, it makes sense. I was like, just started working.
I just want to let Christine know that it's on. I don't want to turn it off when it's breaking. Do you want to let her know when she's finished? It's here.
I'm scared to touch it.
Yeah.
It's on.
I think it does. The video's already live because I accidentally go live and I don't want to break the link either.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, you don't want to jinx it, do
Oh
you?
my god.
I've had so much coffee today.
Me too. I couldn't drink one cup a day. I've had like 4 already.
My
I don't want to
sister's-
get another one.
Yeah, my sister's sitting out there. Finally, we're meant to be going for dinner later.
It's really good.
So I'll just do like no flash.
Hi. Hi, I'm Angela. Hi, just to let you know, this is on already and I don't want to turn it off. It's for the live feed. So you just need to clip it on somewhere. But it is already on because I'm scared if I turn it off I'm going to break the link because it wasn't working earlier. So it's just a little... Anyway you want, just be mine. You don't have to put it on now if you think you're going to talk to anyone, but just to let you know, it's live. Yes, live, it's all live.
Well, it's not a fast flash, it's a one. I'm not like okay. But if you mean like just bright light, I could ask. I mean, if you want to, we could always just use that. Just have it as one with everything else, just have it with no flash.
Okay, yeah, because actually, so when someone sort of the runners up in their certificate, just standing side by side, and then at the end, before everyone gets off, all the numbers together from if you think flash, I
I
mean,
think in terms of a decent false image, flash.
yeah, because the award winners, the awards are going to go to press
Yeah.
first. And the rest is just for our sharing impressions. It's the award winners that are going to go
I think for printing, for just in general, good quality images and clarity. Preferable. Just because it's really light in here. So like just I mean totally fine there for light. But as soon as like just as I start to get that's just at that sort of angle of time. That's one of these not with my hands getting back here than they already are. Nobody wants pandas. No. That was the cut.
Oh yes, and you heard so everyone laughs at me. I'm an intermediate club, and anytime we get to the summer, it's selfie time. But they call it selfie time with Sarah because I always talk about taking a selfie. It's like the chin up and slight tilt, and then touching your tongue to the roof of your mouth. It's a little lipstick, all these stuff. I did not Google them. This is just things that I've collected off of other people's tips and advice. I've all that stuff. Like you study this stuff. Yeah.
Although sometimes some people look at the movie that comes out and everything gives them
We discovered this with one guy that was out on, we had a right good laugh at him in June. We were out selfie time this year at top and his market could not get Alexa double chin. And I think he was a bit dismayed by it.
yeah, it doesn't work for everyone.
No, he was exactly Jean just pictures of him, so he didn't need it. So I think it's fine. You take a fine set, you're good. No, I'll trust your expertise and your judgment because you know much better than I do. I take it. And
Yeah, I think if it's just for that one, because it's cool, I would say, but if it's not just kind of website, it's going to be printed, I think anything's going to work well.
So that's what we have. Everyone is wonderful, happy, and cheery, and so let's do that.
It's almost expected.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's a little bit more.
That's why. No, they're not doing that. Or is that one? That's part. It's like that, you think apart.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I need to ask them.
I think though, it might also be like last year, but executive school at one point. Like that.
Sort of touch. Sort of touch.
Well, I really am. I'm not natural, but like, I don't know anything. But it's 13 and 10, so yeah, I'm not cool anymore. Although I keep telling them that I am actually really cool, but apparently saying that you're cool is why I'm not cool.
My kids are 9 and 11 and I've not been on since.
Oh, it's so sad.
Some of them, so I just have to give them a little hug and kiss. They want to leave the house now to go to school. Not actually outside, so I don't want to take it. Any hugs and kisses I can still get at this point.
Yeah, I don't get it often. Every so often, like my dad will actually like handle. I don't think it's totally cool about this, but I'm like,
On the outside you're like, okay, on the inside you're like,
yeah, so do it often. Yeah.
Ready, that's what she said. I heard that term, ready. It's something so nice. You get a red face. Ready. I learned this word recently, so for me it's such a ready.
That's so funny. I think that's what I used to say when I was little. Ready, yeah.
She didn't say sound. She said sound. So we were sitting in the car once and she was telling us all the cool words that we use, and she said, sound. Sound is a word we use, and it means that it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. And I was like,
I don't know. I said something because I was saying, like, gossip.
oh, right.
I'm doing it to be, like, baby. I wasn't trying to be you. Honestly, you know, like, she's second like, I want to be.
Right. We're going to have to just make sure that whenever the banners I just feel like I did that last year, banner right up front on the screen, so I won't be doing that again. It was nice, but yes, I was doing up the
But
banners.
then
They're easy to work on. There you go. Thank you. Last year. So I was just saying, I think it was
do you want them in the background? Like, yeah, I mean, you could actually.
I'll let you see. But we can talk about them. Or do you have to say?
I
Is that okay, Sarah? Is it better? That's important.
Do you know what's happening? Yeah, like the big one. Yeah, that. I think that's it. Yeah. No, I think that's quite good. Yes. Depends on how much of it you want to. You can't see the ones along the bottom. So does it matter that you can't see everybody?
No,
No, just as long as it's
But
kind of.
does it make it better or worse, or is the plain background better?
I mean, I like the plain background for when it's just the individual speaker,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously you don't want to be dragging them in, unless you do, for when you're just doing your talk, nothing in the background, and then these will just drag across for the actual prize giving.
Put one that side, and we'll put one that side, and then the prize
So
giving.
that behind makes it look really like professional, you know, kind of.
So this one,
Just got in behind there.
put it to one side for now.
Because I only really need that area there.
And she's presenting, she's standing in front of the
It's going to be
podium.
here for the talk and then come out.
So we can put that in front of the podium, essentially.
I mean, you could, yeah. If that's not actually on. No, I think she did, yeah. Right. Otherwise, this is all come in, and then they're right in front of it for the. Yes. This thing. That looked really nice actually. Totally, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even where it would fine. It's just going to be this sort of, unless for that to go in. So you can look. Yeah, so. Yeah.
I mean, it's not balanced though, it's symmetry's a bit off.
But it's okay. Well, if you want it to be balanced, then put those two there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for this chair, then the balance
Do you have everything you need? Do you want a glass of water or anything?
I've got one, thank you.
Okay.
So anything. There we go.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's not, yeah,
enough.
a special kind of symmetry.
Oh, yeah, how about you?
It's called streaming. Yeah, add that when you
Sarah, are you doing the instruction from here? Or are you using, okay, so I'll just, right, yep. Okay. Yes.
It's okay. Sorry, I'm unable to.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Just flip that button.
Okay. Thank you.
Someone told me that they're more colored than lighter.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, I've not used myself. Excellent, I normally do. Perfect. Thank you everyone for coming today to the Scotland Women's Business Conference Award. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I know that there were some challenges this morning with travel, so for everyone that's made it to, thank you very much. And your too. So we're going to kick off with the awards and the keynote speech. Let me introduce our keynote speaker. So Kirsten Hare is going to do a talk on women leading the way, the pathway to success. Kirsten Hare, our keynote speaker, is a former member of Parliament, political advisor, and a trailblazing advocate for women's leadership and empowerment. She brings her fascinating experiences on a career in politics, along with her captivating insight working with senior women, leaders and entrepreneurs across the country as an accredited leadership coach. In her keynote speech, she will share her personal career journey, the obstacles, opportunities, and the valuable lessons learned along the way. Elected as one of the newest MPs in 2017, she was speaking from one of the most famous debating chambers at 27, and will no doubt be feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to take great strides in her business and career. So I will pass over to Kirsten and enjoy the talk.
Thank you, Sarah, and everyone for that warm welcome to the Women's Business Conference and Awards 2023. Quite recently, I was delivering a talk to quite a different audience, an audience of young female students who were in the final years as they went out into the world of work or into further education, or indeed whatever they wanted to do. And I asked them, I left a piece of paper in front of each of their seats, and I asked them two questions. The first question was, if they could do anything in the world, what would they want to do? And they scribbled down their answers. And then I asked them a second question, and I said, what do you think that you will do? And then there was that kind of scribbling down some answers. And then I asked them a third question. I said for everybody to raise their hands if they had the same answer. And then I asked for a show of hands of people that had a different answer. What did they really want to do? And what did they believe that they would do? And many of you might be thinking right now, what on earth you would have written at that time, and if that is indeed what you are doing today. But actually, it's not about the pressure of what we should be doing at 15 or 16. It's about ambition. And those that rose their hands and said that they had the same answer, for me, it shows two things. It shows that we have a group of young women coming through that don't have any glass ceilings, that know what they want and believe that they are absolutely going to achieve that. And then there was another group of young women who had something between what they wanted to do and what they believed that they would do. And that difference was a single obstacle. It's quite simply a belief that they could. I was elected, as Sarah mentioned in her introduction, at 27 as a Member of Parliament. I didn't, at the age of 15 or 16, say that I was going to be Prime Minister. I didn't ever believe that I would become an MP. In fact, I didn't feel like people like me became MPs. But back in 2016, in the local area that I lived in, a vacancy came up to stand for the Scottish Parliament. And I remember I had been campaigning for some years prior to that, and I remember when this came up that I was thinking of people that could potentially stand. But my name was never on that list. And it wasn't until somebody else posed the question to me and said, why on earth are you suggesting other people when your name could be on that list? And it was the encouragement, in fact, of all men, friends, former employers, people that had been out campaigning with me. It was them that encouraged me to believe that I had everything that I needed to stand for election the first time. And that's why I think men are so important to the wider gender equality movement, because they encouraged me and have encouraged so many people to step up to do what they are doing. Fundamentally, they gave me a belief that I could. And getting me over the line in 2016, whilst I didn't win that election, I went on a year later in 2017 to become an MP. The only female MP in the Scottish Conservative group that I was elected with, the only female that had ever represented my constituency, and the 428th ever female MP to walk into the House of Commons in our history. And that's why, as a leadership coach today, I'm so passionate about working with women who are just as talented and as ambitious as men. But for me, it's about one thing. It's about mindset, and it's about challenging our mindsets. The difference between what we can do and what we believe that we can do. Because we have, as we know, too few women running our organisations, too few women setting up businesses, too few women standing up to run our country. And I want to bring more women from behind the scenes into the front line, just as I did. Now, there's a quote I'm going to pop up on the screen here by Elizabeth Garrett Anderson. The quote is around 100 years old. She was the first woman to ever qualify to become a surgeon. She said, feminism isn't about making women stronger. Women are already strong. It's about changing how the world perceives that strength.
She'd made it happen against the odds, and each of you have too. You've all faced adversity and pushed through, felt uncomfortable but kept going, wanted to give up, but kept going through. In a world when it's easy to sit in our comfort zones, each of you haven't. And today I want to focus on that strength that Elizabeth Garrett Anderson talks about. Because I don't believe women need fixed or women are broken. I believe that women have absolutely everything it takes. And today I want to focus on what we can control, because we can influence the wider gender equality movement, and each and every one of us is doing that. But we can't control the outcomes. We can't ensure that we see gender parity in the next 10 years, because there's lots of other people that are at play in that wider movement. But what we can control what we do. I wasn't elected in 2016, as I said, but a year later, in 2017, there was a snap general election, and that is just kind of symptomatic of our politics over the last few years. We didn't know what was coming next. I didn't expect to win, but this time I made the decision much quicker. I had 24 hours to make a decision, and I threw everything at it. I gave up my job for 6 weeks, and I threw everything but the kitchen sink at it. I left no stone unturned, no door unknocked. Over the course of a campaign, you do media interviews, you design your literature, you get your literature out, you are replying to constituents' emails, you're organising a team, you're building a team, you're bringing people with you, listening to people, speaking to people, engaging people. And in 6 weeks, we mounted one of the biggest campaigns that the seat had seen. And 6 weeks later, in a sports hall, a cold, soulless sports hall in my constituency, we were huddled into a corner. And at that point, I was told that I had been elected the Member of Parliament for Angus, the area that I was born in, that I was brought up in, and that I was educated in. And it remains one of my proudest moments. But I didn't get much time to think about it. Within just over 24 hours, I was down in London. You never return to your former job. And it's the most bizarre experience starting out as a Member of Parliament. You don't have a team. You don't have an office in Parliament. You don't have an office in the constituency. You've got hundreds of emails coming in, streaming in, because people haven't had an MP in the way that they normally would over the course of an election. I remember being asked to go and speak on BBC's Breakfast about my first few days in Parliament, and really the gravity of what happened hadn't quite hit me. I was still trying to find my way around the parliamentary estate and understand the rules, and many of which were unwritten, about how the House operated. But I suppose I took some solace in the fact that some MPs had been there for 10 or 20 years and were still learning. But one of the things that really struck me when I was there in those early weeks was, do I fit in here? Do I feel like I fit in? Where do I fit in? And I remember speaking to somebody who was very experienced in politics. She'd led a number of national campaigns. And she said to me, you don't need to fit in. She said, what you need to do is just to be authentic, be open, be honest, and be yourself. We don't need any more MPs that fit in to a mould. And some people will like you. Some people will not like you. But you won't fall through the middle. And it's that advice that stuck with me, and it's the advice that I continue to give to women that I speak to and women that I work with. Because we know that authentic party leaders, we know that they engage so much more with us. They resonate with us, they stand out. And of course, when we're ourselves, we're not using all this, draining all this energy, trying to be all things to all people. And that energy can be focused on what we want to deliver. Of course, standing out, being authentic, doing and saying what you believe in can be really challenging for some people. And it was challenging at the start for me. Some people have traits that you might resonate with, like people pleaser or perfectionist. And there's that kind of real fear of failure ingrained in these traits. And as a parliamentarian now representing 70,000 people, and in one of the most turbulent times in British politics, I had to quickly try and get over these. But what I found, not just in Parliament, but also working with women, is that many of the traits that we've learned quite rightly, to keep ourselves safe because we know that these are things that work for us. They might help us on the way up. But there comes a point when some of the things that we do actually become, it comes a point that they no longer serve us. In fact, they might hold us back. And sometimes I'll have women that might come to me and say, "Do you know what I'm working as hard and fast as I can, and I'm trying to achieve everything that I want to, but something isn't working. There's still people that are getting promoted ahead of me, or they don't know what it is, but they just know something isn't working for them. Something isn't right." And for many of us, and I was included in this, there's a focus on what we should do, what we must do, what we need to do, what we have to do, and almost disregarding what we want to do. There was this light bulb moment I got a few years ago when somebody had said to me, and I didn't quite believe it when they said it, they said to me that if you listen to your gut instinct, 95% of the time, you'll be right. And I'm not so sure about this. But actually, the more that I was aware of that, when I was going out and doing my thing and working and setting up my business, it is exactly right. Because when I reflected back, the things that I regretted about my time in Parliament, and I have lots of things that I maybe wish I'd done differently, they were the things that maybe when I wasn't following my gut instinct. And the things that and when I did, I believe there were the things that I'm proud of what I did and what I achieved. But sometimes when we go with our gut instinct, it's not necessarily the easy thing to do. It's often the harder path that can be better in the longer term. And one of these things that I want to talk about is when you speak out as an MP, and we've had quite a lot of this in Scottish politics in recent weeks and months. Speaking out against your party or your party's leader or direction of travel or perhaps voting against your party. It's easy for all politicians to speak out against the opposition, but it isn't easy to speak out against your own because you're part of a team. Nobody doesn't want to be in that team. Nobody wants to not be deemed a team player. We have a human instinct to want to belong. But there's something really important about doing it, about doing and saying the things that you believe are right. Because if you let somebody else in the driving seat of your career, you will end up in a different destination. And that's why when I was in Parliament and I was offered a role by the Prime Minister of the day, Boris Johnson, and chose not to take on that role, I believe that was the right thing to do. When I spoke out about the way that I believe that he and other leaders were the language and the lack, I believed, of role modelling to other people that they were doing, there was a lot of this kind of pitting one person against the other, and I was worried about the direction of travel that we were going in, and I spoke out about it in the national press. When I went to Number 10 to deliver a speech, and they said to me that some of that speech wasn't appropriate, and I ignored them and went and delivered it anyway. These are the times that I believe, because I was being me, because I was being open, because I was being honest, when I was spearheading campaigns, not aligned with government, but at odds with the government, that I was part of the governing party, because I believed that there was things that needed changed. And yes, it is scary. And I often say to clients when they talk about speaking out and being vulnerable and being open, whether it is part of their business or online or whatever that may be, or speaking on a platform like this. And I say to them to think about, what would you say if nobody was going to judge you? What would you say if nobody was going to criticize you? And that can often be a better compass for all of us, is to remove these beliefs that might stop us from doing what we believe is right. And there was a book that I read a couple of years ago, and you may have read it. It's by a lady called Bonnie Ware, who is a palliative care nurse. And she looked after patients in the final weeks of their lives. And she wrote, and I'm going to read this to ensure I get it right. She said, "People grow a lot when they are faced with their own mortality. When questioned about regrets, if they had anything that they would do differently, common themes surfaced with her patients again and again. And the number one thing that people would have done differently was they said, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life that was true to myself, not the life that others expected of me. And I think we can all resonate with that. And I know some people think in today's age it's really difficult because with social media we're constantly comparing ourselves to the people around us. And sometimes we'll say something on social media and we might be called out for it. And I know the role that social media can play. I, behind party leaders, was one of the most abused politicians in Scotland when I was in Parliament. And there's a human toll, of course there is. I'd never suggest otherwise. Because there's sexism, misogyny, and many, many things more sinister. And it doesn't stop. And it didn't just affect me, but it affects women more widely, because I speak to women about standing for Parliament and women that I would think would be brilliant at standing up for their communities. And they still point to the social media pages that they saw on my account. And whilst we're not moving in, I believe, in a fast enough direction to try and stamp some of that out, the one thing that I do point to is a quote that is on my website, and it is one that I think is particularly important. And you may be familiar with it. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, because there's no effort without error or shortcoming. But who knows, if he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat. Because doing the right thing, doing the thing that we believe in, is more important and more powerful. And while people will disagree, we're not responsible for their reactions. And I know people think, oh, do you know, I know this. I know that I should be more authentic and be more myself. But it's easier said than done. And one of the most common questions I get asked as a coach is that, how do I build confidence? How do I do these things? And I don't think that you do build confidence. I think that it's more about finding that courage to do uncomfortable things, that over time, over a period of time, maybe weeks, maybe months, you will become more confident in that particular area. And why do I think that? Because I've done it. In 2019, I was sitting in the House of Commons library, which is the only sanctuary, I think, amongst all the chaos. And it's this beautiful, huge room after room, steeped in history, overlooking the Thames. Nobody's allowed to talk. And it is lovely, peace and quiet to get on with your work, with maybe some mice scuttling about your feet. And I remember signing off a whole load of constituency casework, and an email dropped into my account. And it was from the BBC. And it asked if I would like to take part in the question time panel. And I remember really vividly responding and saying, yes, absolutely. And then in the days after, I thought, wow, I wouldn't have done that a year ago. I maybe wouldn't have done that 2 years ago. What changed? And this is what I show clients. You may be familiar with this. There's the comfort zone where we're safe and it's easy. There's a stretch zone where it's a bit uncomfortable, but we can do it. And then there's a panic zone where it's completely uncomfortable. So had I been asked to do that when I just arrived, I'd probably be in panic zone. But over the course of the time that I'd been there, I'd taken part in conferences, I'd spoken in front of thousands of people, I'd said yes to every media opportunity, I'd gone out and spoken on panels, I'd spoken hundreds of times in the House of Commons. And as I was doing, I didn't even realise, but what I was doing was dipping into that stretch zone so frequently that my comfort zone got bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point that I didn't feel like question time was such a leap. And actually, what I think is really important is that nobody goes into speeches or into the Commons or does live media and doesn't get a bit anxious or nervous before they do it. Michelle Obama has been quite open that she regularly felt like an imposter. David Cameron said in his autobiography that the worst half hour of his week was the half hour before Prime Minister's questions. For each of us, it is about taking small steps. And the thing that I say to clients is, what will it take to get out of your own way? Because there's something that might be stopping you, and it isn't your skill, and it isn't your talent, and it isn't your level of ambition, because you have all of that. It is the belief that you can. And we don't decide our future. I fundamentally believe that we don't have control over that. But what we do have control over is the habits that we do every day. And those habits will determine our future. There's one thing that I'm often asked, and that is, if you were to do it all again, what would you do differently? And we've talked here about kind of saying yes to opportunities and building confidence and being authentic and saying what you think. But there's also something really important, and if I'm perfectly honest, I didn't get this at all when I was in Parliament, and it's something that I've worked really hard on since. And it's the art of saying no. Because often we think if we just work harder, if we just work faster, if we just do a little bit in the evening and a bit more at the weekend, then we'll get there. But actually things like rest and getting outdoors and being in nature and connecting with people and doing things that really fill us back up, if we don't do any of that, then we won't be the person we want to be in the workplace, and we won't be the person that we want to be in and around our families and friends. So when do we say no? I think what's important is to recognise that when a boundary has been crossed, when do we know? It's the times when we're angry, that we resent taking something on, that we're frustrated that we said yes when we actually knew at the time it was a no. And as leaders, it's hard. It's hard sometimes to set boundaries because there's so many competing priorities coming in your direction. But if you lead, then the teams that you lead will follow. So it might be that you say, I don't take emails at the weekend, that I leave at 3 o'clock, that people in my meetings don't speak over each other. Because I remember that I didn't do any of this. And I just said yes to everything that came in, whether it was in Parliament, if it was in the constituency. I had a 12-hour return trip, absolute minimum if there was no delays every week. I was in a marginal constituency, so I genuinely wanted to make the area that I represented a better place, and I wanted to do all I could for them when I was in Parliament. But actually what happened was I was burning the candle at both ends. And the family events and going out to friends' parties, even friends' weddings, they were the things that went down the priority list. And it's hard to say no. We're socialised to be nice, to put others before us. But actually, saying yes to something means that you are saying no to something else. And it's so easy for others to set our agenda. So I feel one of the best things that I do, and I do it myself, is to listen to my language. Do I want to do something? Would I love to do something? Or do I feel that I should do something? I need to do something. I must do something. Because these are all external influences on our decisions. When we want to do something and we love to do something, that's when we know it's coming from us. And in the end, I lost my seat. And I had a lot of relationships to rebuild. I believe I did everything. I believe that there was a national tide. And of course I have regrets, but I also believe that I did the best I could with the information that I had. And I read this quote online the other day. It said, if only I'd known 40 years ago, this person wrote, that if I'd double the amount of time off, I would be more productive. And I think that we can all perhaps take a lesson from that. Of course, I'm not here today to tell you what you should and shouldn't do. Of course, that's up to you. But I've sat in meetings with prime ministers and ministers. I sat on those green benches. I've had one of the most privileged roles out there. But people drive everything that I did in that role, and people drive everything that I do today, because I want to support others to stand up and to be counted. to believe that they can. Because we know in organisations and businesses, we know teams that are diverse are more productive. We know that women make up 51% of the population, and we are just as ambitious and talented as our male counterparts. We know there's 1 million missing female-run businesses across the UK. And we know that we are never going to be moving slower than we are today. The world needs ambitious people, and half of those are women. So from the classroom to businesses to Parliament, we need to stop defaulting to ask why me and instead ask why not me. I want everybody the next time, or in the next few years rather, when I go into classrooms, I want all those hands to raise that they have the same answer on their piece of paper, a belief that they can, a role model to follow, courage to be themselves, an ambition and boldness to do what they want, and invest in themselves. Because everybody in this room has unique talents that only you have. And that is what will get you to wherever you want to be. Because I think with more women in leadership across the third sector, across the public sector, private, businesses and politics, I believe that we are entering a new era of leadership where it is done differently. And I want to ensure that more women come from behind the scenes into the front line, because we are all part of that change, because we can. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for all the leadership and ambition and so strong core.
Right, so let's kick off the awards. We'll run through the awards secondly and announce the thanks for the winners and
Do you want me to start or? Yeah, go ahead. Oh, different. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to do it from here, or do you want the roving mic?
Come in front of the banner.
Okay, come in front of the banner.
You're not meant to cover it up.
Okay, so the first award is Young Business Women of the Year. So Young Business Women of the Year award shines a light on women under the age of 30 who have already made an impact despite their short time in the business world. And today's runner-up is Ivona Boranechasha. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Okay. Do you want to get a picture?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you come to the front?
You can come in.
Hold it in picture.
Great help. Perfect. Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And the winner in the Young Businesswomen of the Year award is Beth Gray of Clear Data.
In front of them, getting.
I mean, I can take my jumper off to show my mark. Hang on.
Oh, you got
My co-founder will kill me if I don't do that.
you can get a wee moment to say something about the company as well. There you go. Yeah. Take the opportunity when you can. Do you want to say something about the company?
I can try. This is normally my job, but we founded Clear Data about 6 years ago to democratize access to performance data and sport. And we've just launched into the United States. We've just grown our team to about 40 people. I honestly couldn't have done it without all of those 40 people. So yeah, much.
Well done. Congratulations.
Very perfect.
Let's see the.
Oh, did we get a picture? Did you want to get a picture? I thought you got some.
Let's wait. Sorry.
There you go.
And next up is Startup of the Year, sponsored by the Tax Empowerment Network. Startup of the Year is designed to showcase and celebrate a woman who has taken a chance and started her new business despite facing many challenges. And the winner in this category is Florence Alou, Flowverse TechSphere. Congratulations.
Can you say a wee bit about your business?
Actually, I wasn't expecting this at all. Thank you so much. We actually done EdTech, PLA and BNet, delivering of technologies such as VR and AI to encourage education in high schools and within the community. I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Next up, it is the Sustainability Award. The Sustainability Award goes to a business that demonstrates responsible and sustainable practices. And the winner in this category is Tabitha Jane of Earth Self Community Interest Company. Congratulations.
Say that about your. Oh,
You do. What do I want to say? There are some of these basic things that we have, and we're all part of there. When we take time to go out, not just to rest and rejuvenate in nature, like Kirsty said, but also learn and acquire its wisdom, its intelligence, we're able to create businesses that are actually resilient, sustainable, adaptive, and most importantly, in the times that we are facing societal and ecological breakdown, we're able to find the answers, the solutions that we need to create a truly sustainable future.
Well done.
perfect.
Thanks. The next award is the Customer Excellence Award, which recognises and celebrates achievements in customer service excellence. And the winner in this category is Shaima Todd, Miranda's Accountants. Well done.
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, my clients are everywhere. I'm very honoured to work with every one of them. And they trust us, and it's a two-way thing. It's all about communication. That can do it. Thank you so much.
Now we have the Employer of Women Award, sponsored by Muffin and Poppy. The Employer of Women Award recognises companies that have invested and demonstrated a commitment to creating roles and supporting women in the workplace. And the runner-up in this category is, I'm definitely going to get this wrong, I apologise in advance, Marita Shangar, yes, of Green Tree Education.
Well done. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Sorry about that. And the winner is Yvonne Balfour of Ultimate Finance. This CSR award recognises a company with a strong corporate social responsibility and has made the world a safer, healthier and more sustainable place. And the winner of the CSR award is Hester McQueen of Fly Dogs. Well done.
I work for Flyda and really lucky to be on the team. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
The Champion Award is for a woman or company who has been going above and beyond to champion issues that women face in the workplace to create a balanced, diverse and more positive work experience for all women. And the runner-up is Alison Geddes of Aspect Autism Consultancy. Well done.
Thanks, Bridget. Picture. Excuse me. Lovely. Thank you so much.
And the winner is Leslie Robertson, Families Like Us.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you so much. Well, clearly guys, absolutely. And thank you so much. I have the best job in the world. Thank you.
Perfect.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Next up is the C-Suite Award, which honours top-level female executives celebrating their success and vision from across a number of sectors and industries. And the runner-up in this category is Mariam Tariq, the Miracle Foundation. Well done.
Okay, thank you.
And the winner is Alexandra Livesey of Clockwise.
Well done. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you everyone. I'm not actually Alex. I'm just representing Alex, so I'm the regional operations manager with my lovely location team up there. But yeah, I guess thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah,
Lovely, well done.
And the final award today is the Female Founder of the Year award, sponsored by Clockwise.
Did you want to come down and do it? Yeah.
So Clockwise, we are a fully service technical workspace provider. So for all of you that are still working from home that might want to get involved in a new place of work or want to get involved in the business community, you know, the issues like that. So in Scotland, and you can get that to for anything you say there. Oh yeah, so the female founder of the year goes to, sorry. Start again. The female founder of the year goes to Lily O'Neill.
Congratulations. Big enough panel, plenty of banners for photos, haven't we? Yeah, thank you so much.
Everybody gets the free opportunity, there you go. And the winner is Debbie Byers.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
See, I like telling everyone else's stories. And have a PR business like PR, which does not feel like work, because I work with great people and a great team, including my husband. And we're still talking. And I started a motivational speaker agency 5 years ago, which is all about purpose-led speaking and getting people with authentic stories to go into organisations like yourself, telling their lived experience to help amplify policies and behavioural changes within the workplace. So every day is different, and I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Well done.
Congratulations to everybody. It's so such a wonderful feeling to celebrate each other and each other up and just empower each other. So thank you all for being here as part of this. I do have one more award that I would like to give. It's not actually on a regular list. So this award goes to someone that has really recently done a head shoulders up less this year, who is really supported and empowered women in business through Learning's Business Club. And I'm going to award it to Nikki Gill as the intern of the year. And congratulate her for the intern.
Yeah, I'm just really grateful for this opportunity. I've spoken to a lot of people and I've said that it's really solidified the fact that I want to go into journalism. Yeah, and I couldn't have asked for a better place to do it. I've just been surrounded by really great women, and I think that it's just been like a lovely start to my journey. And yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Well done.
Thanks very much.
I should also mention that Alexia has been very involved in the magazine development, so if you need to enjoy that, it's a massive contributor to that.
Thank you. Excellent. Well, that really sums it up for today, the awards and our day together. So, thank you very much. What I will do is ask the winners to come out to company to get some photographs together. And then want us to grab me on a chat back today. I'm here, and we want to pat down and head off. Excellent. Thank you so much for coming along and being supportive of each other and encouraging each other and being part of our wonderful conference. So until next year.
I've heard about you before.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly where from. Lindsay McCallum.
Yes,
I
yes.
just texted
Lindsay
her and
used
she's-
to be involved in politics.
Yes,
That's right,
she
years
did.
ago.
Yeah. So
Yes.
she said she'd come say hello.
Oh,
So
that's such a small world,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
I'm pretty sure you've talked to me about this
Yeah. Oh, that's
Brilliant,
good.
brilliant speech. Really love
Thank
that. Really
you.
motivational.
Thank
Something
you.
I'd love to see my 19-year-old daughter listen to actually.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I love that piece. And I'm going to do it with her, which says, where do you want to be?
Yeah.
Where do you think
Done
you'll
it a
be?
few times, and it's fascinating because you just immediately see, you just see them writing again, and you know, whereas some people are just saying, I don't have another answer, and then some people, the majority, are always writing something else. And I find it fascinating because I actually think a lot of this is actually about that age group, and it's about kind of, instead of waiting till, so I think businesses start to invest in women genuinely 40s, 50s type thing.
Yeah.
By which point, lots of the things that you think about yourself are brilliant, because if you can give them one nugget that they take away or that sticks with them, then it just feels like you're kind of helping